tag was running today at the beginning.
Well, hello, rail friends. Thanks for being live right here in the exciting town of Ooltewah, Tennessee, where it's taken a long time to get here today. Work took extra long, traffic took extra long, connecting tonight to Signal to send this all to you took extra long, and finally, we are live. We are Trackside, and it is, let's see, what is today? Today is April 9th of 2025. And somebody asked me the other day, Mike, why do you say that? You're live. And I said, I get that. But come tomorrow and the next day, once we end this tonight, it goes into the library. So if you were to punch Trackside Live tomorrow, and we talk about things that are going to happen tomorrow, they'll already be over. So, since we are literally, this is not production, we're not going to paste anything together, we're not going to speed up the trains. We are literally rail fanning with you, and we are only ahead of you between 3 to 6 seconds, depending on what way that we connect, either through the satellites or the different options that we have, that Casey has taught me, worked with me, and is trying to drag me into the 21st century. And every day you can see heel marks right across the way. We are at the end of Railroad Avenue tonight. Bootleggers Crossing, just up that way. And man, it is just peaceful, quiet. I mean, it's almost take a nap type. Uh, Beautiful and quiet and peaceful out here. This is just like if you've had a bad day, you should be hanging out right here. And that is exactly what Jesse's doing from Whistleboard Productions. He's already beat me into his chair. He's already caught his first one. And boy, the sun was perfect come around that corner. So we're here for probably about an hour tonight. As you know, I won't see you guys the night of the 10th, April 10th, and April 11th. We will be off the air on Mobile Cam 2. Now, the Bird Cam will still be up. Everything else will be going. Just no Mike, Casey, or Jesse hanging out with us live. So, I think that's it for news. It looks like we've got red on the Atlanta North District line behind us, Knoxville West End. And we do have a little bit of a surprise. Now, if you didn't see, let's see, on Saturday when we were chasing the Wabash, we had an MOW train that was on the siding there. The Wabash went right past him. And before I steal all the thunder and the excitement, Jesse's going to tell you exactly what that train does. And it's really cool. And sometime back, we filmed one live actually operating down on the Greenville line, and it's just awesome. Not sure if I could have the nerves of steel to do what Jesse's going to tell you about, but that guy did. So, back to you guys. Eugene, hello, sir. How are you? I hope everything in your world is just as good as our world tonight. Jesse looks so relaxed. I feel like I should get a set of bleachers and invite y'all to come on down here instead. Jennifer, you're right. It is just a perfect evening. All we need is one squirrel, two rabbits, a herd of deer, and we'll be like a nature preserve out here. Or the Indians to come back. Hey, kid. How are you and Mama Bear? Let me know if we got a QC issue. You start letting me know. Mama Bear, are you home or are you at work? And Jennifer, I'm assuming you're hanging out in the new abode. So, we're Trackside. We're live. Probably, like I said, about an hour. And we'll just have a good time. As you know, we only have a few rules. One, have a good time. Two, if the scanner starts yakking, Mike stops yakking. Three, tell your friends, hop on, interact with us live. Four, if you know someone you don't like, but you want to chat with them anyhow, tell them to get on too. And when the train comes by, y'all do just as big as a wave as I do, because that's how we're going to get those horn salutes for you there, wherever you're watching from, work, home, driving along. But remember, hands free if you're driving along. Don't get me in trouble. So let's take a look, see what we got up top, and then we'll catch up with you guys. And then when Jesse is ready to tell you all about the MOW train, we'll go over to that. Good to see everybody tonight. Thank you so much for hanging out. And for those of you who don't know, the one hanging out in the easy chair just hauled that chair all the way from Alabama to the great state of Tennessee, so she can sit back and be closer to watching Real Moments Productions in what is now her new hometown. And yes, we still have pollen. Yes, we had the freeze warning happen last night for those of you that were with me in Dalton. We did get to freeze. My plants all gave me $1 each this morning for carrying them in last night so they didn't get cold, and they are all still green. None of them turned brown this morning. Now, there are still 2 on the porch that happened to, but the other 21 are alive and well. So, as you can see, we got red over red to the left, and because the Knoxville West End line comes in on a curve, the lights are turned slightly to the right so the engineer and conductor can see them. They aren't worried about you and I seeing them, so I'll pitter-patter over here and take a look at those. And then when y'all are ready and you talk Jesse into coming up, he's going to tell you all about, there's the old water tower. For those of you who were on the other night, after it got dark and we put the flashlight through that door, that was one spooky interior. Oh my goodness. And kid, if you still think you're going to camp in there, don't call me. Just let me know you're having a good time. But I ain't coming to visit. There is no idea what's in there. Now that is what Jesse's going to tell you all about when the time comes. But for the moment, since there is probably a tad of a breeze, we're going to put the dead cat on. Now, the other day, excuse me, Jennifer got all excited because she thought a cat was injured in the production. And all cats are safe. It's just this fuzzy thing that's make-believe fur. So, for those of you that are cat lovers, like I said, no cats have been injured, no cats have been mistreated. They're all just fine at home with their moms and their dads, being spoiled as they are doing cat things. So we're going to put this on just because there is a little breeze here and there, and the microphone is so sensitive, you all get that whoosh through your ears. So you're all going to shake a little bit when I do this. But we'll try and make it non-painful. There you go, just like that. All right. And for those of you who have not been here before, right on the other side of that track, which is the siding that our MOW train is on, is where the old Ooltewah depot used to be, till they moved it over by the high school, from what I've been told by the gentleman that lives at the end of this street, been here all his life. And then the wisdom of one high school student thought, I wonder if wood is flammable. And that, from what I was told, was the end of the old Ooltewah train depot that was over by the high school where they moved it to. Now that story was told to me. Don't know if it's true. Haven't found anyone else to either deny or collaborate. So, if any of you know the truth, we'll get it out tonight. Yes, that is very, very, very well said. Abbeville, I don't know if I could have put it any better, so we're going to go with yours. Education, hard at work. Matches plus wood equal fire. Thanks, kid. You stay right on top of me. Don't let me slack. Every now and then I forget to zoom back out and I take you on that whirlwind spin. It's like, whoa, Mike, it's teacups. Stop. If we do get a horn, you're going to hear it all the way to wherever you guys are. First of all, is anybody trackside? I know Jennifer's in her easy chair, but is anybody trackside? But on the other hand, while it was here, and if John was on, he'd tell you about some of the cool train names that used to go through here and pick up passengers and what have you. Um, and not too long ago, we were on. Well, first of all, let me go check the other side like I promised. Then I'll tell you about what the guy told us. Hang on.
There is nothing coming north or south. I've seen. There's nothing north or south in the last bit.
I wonder if 29 is up there yet. Hey, Ken, how are you tonight? And again, everybody, sorry we are so late, but you know that whole conversation y'all have about a starving artist? Well, we're kind of like a starving YouTube channel. Until you get up and going, it takes a whole lot of investment before it starts to pay for all the things from production unit 6, the F-150 off-road, to all the equipment and whatnot. So, you guys subscribing makes a big difference. We do have another monitor on, and Jesse's over there checking it close.
NS northbound through Dalton.
We have an NS northbound through Dalton. Now, the good news is, well, there's one, no, the other one went that way. So there's nothing in front of him, so he should be able to come on code 3 from there to here. So, we know that in 45 minutes, between dark and him getting here, we will have at least one on the radar tonight. We're going to be here until probably 8:20, 8:30 at the latest, because once 8:30 gigs here, anything you see isn't going to be anything other than a long dark train, or what's that song? A long night train. So, we've got one coming north. Hello, Robert. How's everything with you? Good to see you tonight. Thanks for being on. Anyhow, going back to the gentleman that told me about the old depot, he still lives down here, and he was raised on this road, and we're on Railroad Avenue. We're right at the very end of it in Ooltewah, Tennessee. And everybody, you know, when you tell somebody, where's that? You know, out west where the Indian reservation is? Nope. It's right here outside Chattanooga. Ooltewah. Ooltewah. Yes, it's an old Indian name. And so, going back, he has lived here since he was just a child. And when he was a young man, he was telling us that when the depot was here, and as John has told us about all the trips down to Florida and stuff, all the rail and passenger service here, he used to, and his words were schlep. He used to schlep bags, and he would hope that he got paid between a dime and a quarter to handle their bags. So, super rich history, and for those of you who didn't know, where we spent a lot of time as well, up at Bootleggers Crossing, It's folklore that's been handed down for a long time. And at night, the bootleggers during Prohibition would bring the illegal liquor and move it by train, and some stuff would come in. They'd load, offload, everybody take off from here, and off they would go. So Bootleggers Crossing, now like I said, that's handed down by folklore, and if you look it up, you can Google it. Bootleggers Crossing, Ooltewah or Chattanooga. It's right just outside Chattanooga. And it has been a rail fan spot for years and years. Great grandpa, grandpa, son, grandson, the whole list. And there's another gentleman that lives up there and was telling us that he's seen so many folks come and go over the years. And it's just a super place. No bathrooms, no nothing there, but just a great, fantastic place to park, and has been forever. And way back when, this used to be James County. But whoever was in charge of James County back then ran it right into the ground and bankrupted James County. They were without money, so Hamilton County said, hey, we can fix that. We'll just eliminate James County, call it Hamilton County, we'll grow, and y'all are ours now, pay taxes. Our politicians at work. But if you go to the whistle stop, there is still an old patrol car back there. There's no Barney, there's no one bullet, but there is an old patrol car there, and it says James County. So that's your history lesson. That catches you up on everything. We know before we go home, in theory, because trains run on their schedule, not yours and mine, or Jesse's, that one is coming our way, and he's got nothing in front of him. And once we see green, we'll know that's confirmed. Bag Squatch, you guys out? Seth, you out? Warren, anybody? I know a lot of you like this section between here and Cohutta. So if anybody's at Long or whatever, shout out. And I'm going to grab a Gold Peak unsweet tea because that's my favorite. We're not sponsored by them or anything, but it's just plain good tea. So y'all kick back, relax. Jesse's going to talk to y'all here in a little bit when he's ready. I'm going to breathe in a little bit more of this yellow pollen that has everything covered. And Mama Bear, I'm going to try and kind of keep that turned as left as much as I can so you can see lights and you can see the sun setting. Bring y'all down just a tad. There. Now you got sunset, lights, railroad track, and the most exciting thing, 2 propane tanks. I once upon a time gave Jesse an unsweet tea. Still haven't forgotten that look he gave me when he tasted it. He hasn't taken one out of the truck since. I could put 400 of it in there. All 400 still be there tomorrow, even if I left him the keys to the truck and went home. If it's a tie between thirst and having an unsweet tea, he's going to stay with thirst. Aren't you, sir? Yep. See, I knew the answer. Have you ever wondered, in this world of nobody shows up for work? Oh, forget that story. Here we go. Here we go.
That's a surprise. No idea what's next now. anybody's interested, that last engine was missing a number board.
Hey, did you all happen to notice? Because Jesse did, and he's going to try and show you. Let's see if we can get it on. Okay, this is a quiz. Did anybody see something really unusual?
Yeah, we're too zoomed in. There we go. Let's try that.
Jesse wants less zoom, but check this out.
See there? Only one number board. Whoops.
Somebody took the number board. One of you guys better give it back.
Yeah. It's sitting in somebody's basement. Being used as a coffee table.
And you're right, Jennifer. He did have somewhere to be. He went by, he threw out a note and said, "Hey, y'all, I'm not going to be here for a long time, but I'm sure going to be here for a good time." But he went so fast, there were a couple graffiti pieces that I wanted to show you, but I couldn't even get turned quick enough between where we were and the amount of time to react. I mean, there was a couple really cool ones, and then Jesse caught a door that was open, and like I said, I couldn't twist, turn, or swivel fast enough to get you all into that. So, since we're looking that way, let's tell you about this train. Can anybody tell us about that train? What y'all know about it? It's quiz time. And I'm not sure, our train that just went by did not hear what he called because he was too busy on the horn. Hello, Lucas. Hello, Lucas. Yep. And he was hanging out. He was parked down in Dalton for a while. Good to see you, Lucas. How are things in your world? Robert and everybody else that's on said they're all doing great. And Jennifer, who's on, is now officially out of Alabama and up here in the great land, the exciting state of Tennessee, hanging out. So far that makes it, Lucas, that makes you unanimous. Everybody's had a good night so far and a good day. As our last southbound goes rolling past us, and he might be in a hurry because since we do have the northbound coming up, he might be in a hurry. They may want him to get past the junction point at Long so they can cut our northbound loose, because they know in Atlanta that we want to see that train before dark.
Well, has everybody submitted their answers for the quiz
Yep.
yet?
They've all been seeing it. It's a tie train used for putting out ties for NS. And then Robert saw it down in Dalton. Abbeville says suspected it was for tie replacement. Well, hello, Don. How are you? Haven't seen you all week. And for those of you that weren't on in the beginning, Rail Moments cam number 2, the mobile one that runs around in the white truck here, we will be off the air tomorrow night, being Thursday the 10th, and Friday night the 11th. I will be back Saturday the 12th of 2025, but for the next 2 nights, y'all are going to have to behave without me. So, here you go. If y'all have not met Jesse, he's going to introduce himself. He does have a channel. We hang out a lot. And if you ever hang out with Jesse and you want to find a train, you just tell him what it is you want, And trust me, he will find it. I don't care if it's rain, sleet, snow, dark, light. And right behind us, there's a bridge over Little Debbie Parkway. One night, this is true, this is not Mike adding to this is true, at midnight, he couldn't get out there to get his picture. And he managed to motion the crew and get them to move that train up far enough so he could have his picture because he couldn't go out on the bridge. And then at 3 a.m., we stayed up and we caught that train. It was a double heritage. It was the Illinois Terminal and something.
Wabash.
And the Wabash. And he's actually going to show you a picture of that night. So you can see it there.
This is what I got the crew to move about 100 yards for, so I could get this shot. They were, if I would have had time, I would have gone to the store and gotten them a Coke or whatever they would have wanted, because they were absolutely legends. So Mike told part of the story and I'll tell the rest. So yeah, I walked down to the bridge, and whenever you get closer to the bridge, the ballast gets really steep, and I was actually carrying 3 tripods with lights and my camera, and I set the tripods down so I wouldn't fall over walking on the looser ballast. And I walked up to the conductor's side, and he opened his window, and he asked me what I was doing out at this hour. And I told him, well, you guys have 2 specially painted locomotives on your train tonight, and I was hoping to get some pictures. And he says, oh, is that so? He of course knew that the 2 locomotives were different than the regular black and white. And so I said, yeah, I wish you guys could pull up, maybe about 100 yards to where there's a flat spot and I could get pictures. And he's like, yeah, I wish we could do that for you. And I wished them well. I told them, you guys have a good night. And I walked back and picked up my tripods and started walking back to the car, kind of disappointed. And I noticed that the engineer flipped the headlight on. I just assumed he was doing it so that I could see to walk back, and I was like, oh, well, that was nice. But then it sounded like the engines were actually moving, and I turned around, and sure enough, they were moving at about the same speed I was walking. And I'm like, this can't be actually happening, but just in case it is, I'll stop right where I want them to. And I kid you not, I swear on my life, where I stopped right here where I'm standing in this picture is where they brought the locomotives to a halt. They moved a train at 2 o'clock in the morning about 100 yards so that some poor kid could set up his lights and get pictures of 2 heritage units together. So this kind of thing does happen still. And I'm eternally grateful to this crew. And to this day, this is my only heritage duo that I've gotten to photograph. And it will forever be probably one of my favorite heritage duo catches. So my arm's going to sleep now after holding that
I
up
like
there.
that kid, a John Deere train.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, and I hope I'm not too big in this picture, but afterwards,
Oh, you're good.
Jesse, after he has all his fun here and gets all that, hops in his car, and I'm down in Dalton waiting. So it's now 3 in the morning, and there's a video on this in the Rail Moments library. There's a production video. 3 o'clock in the morning, in the rain, in the cold, in the fog, we filmed that exact train.
And did we say rain? It was pouring rain.
Thank goodness we were underneath the awning at the Dalton Depot. And then the next 2 days later, it came back through. They were still connected. Casey caught it going across the 10 bridge on the C&O and TP. So there's lots of video that we have on it. And you have some on your channel too,
Yeah,
don't
I
you?
got a video right here.
And he's going to show you his from Whistleboard Productions.
So, let's see here. I'm actually going to pan the camera over and you should see someone you'll recognize. Yep, that voice you heard was Mr. Mike.
He's here.
Oh yes, it wasn't just rain, it was a thunderstorm. I just saw lightning in the clouds. Yeah, I remember that now.
And Don, that's a very good comment. And that noise you hear isn't because we're close to the bathroom. That's how hard it was raining.
Ooh, I hear something. Sorry, guys.
Eastbound coming past TBRL.
Abbeville, yes. Dedicated is a good word to call us. Some people might call us crazy and fanatical, but I like dedicated.
Yeah. There's a number of things I called Jesse that night.
Tired was definitely one of them at the end of everything.
Yeah, 'cause we had work the next day.
Yeah, we did. All right, here we go. There's Mike over to the left. Yep, there they go.
And I'm with you, kid. I was raised on a farm, and every time I see that locomotive, I think John Deere. And then I think back to the farm days.
So actually, Mike said that, they've got production video up of it. I've got production video up of it. Specifically, that footage is under my only video in a soon-to-be, hopefully, series where I do Heritage Unit highlights, where I put together, Heritage Unit spotlights, where I put together all my footage that I have of a particular Heritage Unit into one big video. The only one I have up is the one of the Illinois terminal, and I think about halfway through that video, you'll find the footage both of the night catch in Dalton and then a chase the next 2 days later, chasing it northbound. So, well, Mike did say I was going to talk a little bit about the maintenance of way train down there, so I'll zoom you in a little bit so we can get a little bit better view of it. So, yes, it is it is a tie train, but you can just barely see above the cab of the locomotive. It's odd to call it a locomotive, but it is a locomotive. There is a excavator with a claw attachment. Okay.
No, I just thought of something. But
Oh.
You're fine. I happened to think of something.
There's an excavator with a claw attachment, like grabber claws, and it is actually just wide enough to fit inside of the gondola. So what they'll do is they'll take the train along the right of way, and there aren't, well, yeah, you can see a pile of ties actually just in front of the engine down there. What they do is they grab a clump of ties about 8 to 10 in a cluster, and then they set them along the tracks, and they're used whenever the maintenance of way crew comes through to replace bad ties or what have you. But it's really neat if you ever get the chance to watch them actually working. They, like Mike said, to have the nerve of steel to drive a backhoe, excavator, whatever you want to call it, across little ramps straddling over two gondolas. Sounds a bit risky, but these guys are good at it. It's what they do. So we'll zoom back out here, get a more wide angle view for now. We got a little bit of a sunset tonight over yonder. You said that was eastbound to PBR?
Yeah, coming our way.
Oh, when you saw it working out there. Have you ever tried doing where you can take a picture for your thumbnail beforehand? Have you ever tried that?
With Casey doesn't want to.
Okay.
Nice thing. Projects. Using maintenance.
Because that was when you went and saw the safety train.
I know. Yeah, it was. When was the safety train?
That was.
Yeah, that's the same time. That was the day I got there for the safety train. You're right. All right, so I get
Find it?
yeah. Thank you.
When was that? November?
I don't know. I already clicked on it, so
Guys, I think it was because it was here and then it went there.
5 months ago.
Yeah, that would be November. That seems like just yesterday when I watched it come through Green.
I'm going to try and show this to y'all. This is, let's see if I can get it here for you. This is out of the live category on Rail Moments, and it's 5 months ago. And we're just outside of Lula, Georgia, and that is exactly what he does right there. And he just throws those ties around, makes him a little road from one end to the other, and drives up. Well, sorry there, I decided to go watch that truck for whatever reason. He may have honked to me, I don't know. Hard to say. 5 months ago. And this is on the Greenville district line, right, Jesse?
Yes.
Well, come on, Mike. Let's go back to where we were. There we go. And he just moves those along around, and then boom, he just drives from one end to the other. And they had put some ties out, and I don't know if they're at the point where they were done. Hey, y'all watch quick because we're going to zip off of here in a second. But he just moves those ties around, and he drives from one end of that train to the other and does his thing. So anyhow, Jesse's got good news for y'all.
Green light. Which this possibly means a train funnel. Because if this guy comes this way, the other one could go that way.
Nothing gets by Jesse.
I'm being optimistic.
No, somebody's going to have to wait unless that other guy's going north.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because he'll be here in minutes.
Mm-hmm. That happened to me one night. Actually, I was on a live stream, and we were like right up there, kind of in the middle where the pavement stops, and there was a eastbound or northbound on the Atlanta North, and a eastbound on the Knoxville West End, and they were both going so fast, and the wind was just crazy.
Abbeville, have a good night, and I will see you Saturday. And everybody, what we're going to do, since we aren't shooting straight at, are you going to stay where you are?
If that's okay.
Oh yeah, you're perfectly okay. Y'all put your seatbelt on because we're going to move. Sorry, I should have zoomed you out there first, but I didn't. All right, kid, yell at me. I know better. Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to get situated here real quick. We got to get level again. All right. This will give us a little broader view. So if our next guy rolls past us, we'll be able to see the cars a little better. We won't be shooting directly into the sunlight since it's now turning mama bear's evening into a beautiful sunset. And while you guys take a look at that, I'm going to move production 6 a little bit. Yell when to stop.
Okay. That's good.
All right. We have Mama Bear's sunset.
Rock patrol for you here.
Rock patrol here so I don't fall down.
You do not want to have that on the line.
We have Mama Bear's sunset looking to the west. And yes, it is just beautiful here tonight. I mean, just crazy beautiful and peaceful and quiet. This is looking also to the west. I'll bring you all out just a tad. Looking to the west. Hey, Tara, how are you? Almost looks like the forest is on fire back there. And right back there is the creek that they got the water out of to put in this water tower, which I still haven't quite figured out how exactly it worked and how it was a water tower, but as soon as I find the gentleman that lived here, I'm going to have him explain to me if there was something that went on the top or just how this happened. There's the water tower with a very set or a full circular set of paintings, a mural, a round mural on the inside of that. That is spooky with a capital S.
Lucas sent us a picture. This is a Thai train he caught back in 24.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's down on the AGS.
What color or who is that? What color?
That's
You can come on up.
Elijah's coming by to check the signals.
Well, there they are, and one's green.
Yeah, that's
We got visitors, y'all. See, I told you we needed bleachers. We have a northbound and we have an eastbound.
so
southbound earlier. I was down at Old Alabama Road. Had to come up and get a new tripod at Walmart because I tripped and fell on top of mine. So, yeah, that wasn't fun.
You want to say hi to everybody?
Sure.
Like I said, this is something we do for fun,
How's it going?
and we've got visitors.
Hi.
Okay, he's not going to tell you who he is.
All right. The Dixieland Rail fan.
The Dixieland Rail Fan.
Yes, sir.
And he said, hello to y'all, and glad you're here with us, because we are doing exactly what we enjoy doing, which is the same thing that you guys are doing. We are rail fanning. On a beautiful evening, there's production 6. There's the power unit that doubles as a light for the track with the scanner on, the MOW. And I said the gentleman lives down that road. We're right here at the end of Railroad Avenue. Over there's where the deer, the antelope, and the buffalo, and the 2 rabbits and the squirrel roam. Yeah, it's really cool. You know, you talk about what you've seen, and it's really cool that all the different kinds of equipment and things that they do, and just what it takes to keep a train on track. And the geometry unit when it goes by with the laser light on the track, and the no hump car when you catch it in the middle, and just so many cool things. So, since we are rail fanning, since we are having fun, we're going to be quiet. I'm going to stop yakking with y'all, and we're going to see when we hear that horn. In the meantime, y'all enjoy that sunset. I'll bring y'all in just a tad more. Whoa, that's way more than a tad. My apologies. Sensitivity tonight. Since it's not so cold, camera's working a little easier tonight. Man, the other night it was colder than I was. Back and functioning?
That's my backup. One that broke a while ago. The one I fell on earlier today was, how you say, more than a little broken. This thing's gonna hold like 3 pounds. I'm 260.
Well, Jesse, was it the first night I met you I went tumbling down the hill? Yeah, I broke my stick that night. Jesse had me about 40 feet off the ground on the railroad bank. Hey, come on up here. You know, kid, and I know I told y'all I was going to be quiet. I love on a bridge to shoot from up there. The only thing I always worry about is what maniac's going to drive all across and onto the sidewalk of the bridge while I'm up there. And then what do I do? Jump or just take it? So, but I love being up on a bridge. There's this cool bridge in Lula that is made out of creosote ties, and it's an up and over bridge. It's so cool. Lucas, do you drone? Awesome. Kid, I'm like you. I know I told you I was going to be quiet, but kid, I'm like you. I can sit along the railroad track for 8 hours, and if I see a train, that's a bonus. It's so peaceful and it's so relaxing, and it's away from work. You put all that together, that's what rail fanning is so much fun. Don, I like that. For Christmas, I'll get you a bib. And for those of you that don't know Don, his family has an incredible, large piece of history here in this area. If you ever meet Don, have him tell you about his family because he's got some really, really cool ancestry things. Hey, Crash, how are you? And y'all check out, in case you aren't reading the chat, y'all Google the 65th Georgia flag. And you're going to see Don's ancestral line. If I remember right, it's two brothers, Don, and they're in the picture together back from the Civil War days. Crash, good to hear that so far keeps it unanimous. Everybody that's been on today has been a minimum of fine to awesome. Jennifer is officially moved from Alabama, where the postman doesn't use addresses. He just goes by the name. And Don, you're right. Talking about, but while I get on that subject, you can't depend on a letter. And I'm not going to get on the thing about the post office, but you can't depend on mail anymore. I can't tell you, in the last 6 months, and you guys know, and I'll be quiet here in just a second. You guys know technology and I don't get along, and I just hate having to have an app for every single thing. I mean, like if I want to go to the bathroom, I got to have an app to do it anymore. And so I've resisted it, and I'm the old guy that still spends, I don't know, whatever a stamp is these days, 65 cents, 70 cents. Every time I go, they're another couple pennies. And I still mail stuff, but I have so many payments not get there, or they're like way late. So I mail less and less and less. And I have given in to 2025 in the world of apps. That way I know that I can look, and I hit a bunch of barriers. Thank goodness I have Casey and Mrs. S. They keep me on track. But you're right, Don. I totally agree with your comment. Well, the good news is, Don, you got them. So we know right now around the corner there is an eastbound looking at us. As Jesse was talking about having a train meet up, and that you guys see at Bootleggers, where one has to wait So we just. I like that. That's good, Don. Just in time for Valentine's Day. And getting a new phone, oh my goodness. By the time you learn it, figure it out all it does, it's so much smarter than us that it's like, wow. I mean, it's just amazing what a phone can do anymore. And now that you have AI, it looks everything up for you, makes pictures, and heck, even um, Kid has become a songwriter. He's put together a number of different pieces. He's got some really cool songs that, if I'm not mistaken, you used on the apps on your phone, right, Kid? I agree with you. I hate it when the phone's smarter than the person using it, but I have that problem regular. Ooh, Robert, that sounds fancy. Speaking of, how's the dog? Everything back to normal? We all good? That's a rectangle. Yeah. That almost sounds like Knoxville West End, but that's our guy. Yep, that's it.
train must be a southbound then.
Yeah, I'm surprised we don't see the other one though.
Yeah. Well, they might have stopped him at Summit instead of bringing him all the way down here. Sometimes
Possible.
they do that. There's just enough light.
Yeah, it is getting dark fast. Mama Bear took all the sunset and took it to her side of the world, and
Yep. No more for us.
no more for us. That's right. Mama Bear took all the sun.
Were y'all by chance at downtown Chattanooga earlier?
Today,
Yeah.
not in this, but I was downtown. But I was in a cargo van.
I was behind down toward the college, an F-150 this year with this general year range, FX4, tonneau cover, and a rear window. Well, in that same wheel setup, I was like, there's no way. I tend to remember people by their cars mostly here. There he is.
We got glowage.
right, buddy. I gotta get gas. So your name is what? Jesse. Jesse.
You got a channel?
Yes, sir. Channel and the TikTok. My channel, I recently I used to call the number offhand, but I changed my own side. That.
Oh, okay.
That. Or seven people broken. I went from the mountain.
Boy, tonight's motto must be, I'm not here for a long time, but I'm here for a good time. That's another one, rolling on.
My YouTube channel?
Now, we do know there is an eastbound somewhere around that corner waiting. And since he's been waiting, Jesse and I, we all have come to the conclusion he is waiting to go southbound. So, as you can see, it was a little dark on that train. Had a little trouble. Camera just doesn't like that idea of dark. Had a little trouble focusing. But since we're here and we know there's another one somewhere close, we're going to hang on and get one more, because for the next 2 nights, y'all are going to have to stay out of trouble without me. Mobile 2 is going to be stuck in the driveway. So we're going to hang out and we're going to try and get one more. Yes, Don, you missed the rolling on train. He came, he went, intermodal, poof. And he was pretty decent long-wise. All the power was on the head end. Up, hotline's ringing. Hey everybody, it's Warren checking in.
Yes, sir.
Hey, take care. Good to see you.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. We're not probably. Yeah, absolutely.
We're at the water
Okay,
tower for one more train. Oh, by the time he gets here, I'll be in bed. Tomorrow's sale day. We got to get up early. Tomorrow's 6 a.m. day. Vogue's gonna be leave just because 6 a.m. is tomorrow, and so no all-nighter. But if you're close by, stop and say hi. I said we've got one sitting around the corner. We're gonna stay long enough for that, and then north or southbound? Well, we're sitting on 4 reds. So, and since it is dark, our time is going to be limited. But thanks for the update. See you later. Oh, we got horn. He's from a startup. Man, isn't that pretty? Check out that glow eggs. Whoa! Y'all are gonna get blinded now. Crash, you gonna sing to us? Eugene, you have a good night. Tara, to answer your question, I'll let Jesse answer your question on his side. Um, on production 6 side, we carry 2 stanchioned light systems with 3 head LED at 37,000 lumens each, and then 2 additional light setups at 7,000 each. So, and we can set them out up to 200 feet from one end to the other. We carry a power unit on production 6, and we also have the ability to use the inverters. So if we were doing night production, we set up a 3 head that way, another one this way, and then the 2 7,000s in between. So 37, 37, and 14, that's our lumen capacity. And it makes a massive amount of light, so it kind of sets up the whole stage, if you will. Now, I'm going to let Jesse answer your question on what he's using tonight, because unlike a typical spotlight, it's very tight, where what he uses has an expandable piece. So that's kind of what we use. I got mine off of Amazon, and there's a number of different ones, but there's one 3 set. Most of the rest of them are around 30,000 lumens combined, but the set that I use is 37,000, and they're like 110 per setup. But if you're out in the middle of nowhere, you have to have power, and that is where it gets super tricky. So like I said, we have a complete power system that we run on production 6, or we can just do it the old-fashioned way and start the truck and run it off the inverters, because it does use that much power. And then you add on, if we're out in the middle of nowhere and we have to run connection to the satellite, electricity for that. And as you know, there is no electricity trackside. So I'm going to throw Jesse on. He's going to tell you about what he uses for lights, and then we're going to wind down and head home for dinner. But here's Jesse again, Whistleboard Productions.
All right, so what I use for lights is a bit more of a mobile setup that does not require an external power source. I use 2 Olight Marauder 2s. This is a 14,000 lumen flashlight with a, you can go either with a broad, that's as max out as it'll go. That's 14,000 lumens in like a flood, but then you also can do a spot, and it will do like 800 meters of a throw. I use 2 of these, and I attach them to tripods using these, they're like silicone coated metal bands, and it really helps to grip the tripod, so that way I can set up the lights whenever, wherever I need. I've got 2 of these. I'm probably going to get at least 1 more, but they work for me, since you know, if I like to go somewhere, say like here, and I don't have a lot of time to set up you know, great big lights, the power supply and whatever, if I only have a few minutes, I can pull these out of the car real quick, strap them onto the tripod, turn them on, and boom, there we go. The results are actually quite good for video. For still photos, they aren't the greatest, because, you know, of course, flash is the typical night photography idea, but I have done it with these lights before, and you can get decent results, but they're nowhere near the quality you get from a set of flashes. But yes, that's what I use for lighting is two of these Olight flashlights. Again, like Mike said earlier, we're not sponsored by Gold Peak. We're not sponsored by Olight either. I use their product. It's a great product. I would highly recommend it. Just not even necessarily for taking videos of trains at night. It is a great flashlight. I use all kinds of their other products, other flashlights and whatever. So if you're in need of a good flashlight, give Olight a look.
All right, Crash, way to go. Now I got that song stuck in my head. And since I can't sing, I'm definitely not going to torture y'all.
All right, everybody. It is time, and I hate to say this, but it is time to head to the barn.
Outbound is on duty, over.
Did you catch that?
29F is on duty.
Yep.
That
Yep.
means they are sitting at Brown.
Yep.
All right, everybody. Like I said, I know y'all don't like the idea, nor do I. And one night here in the near future, maybe a Friday night, or a Saturday night, or a Sunday night, one of the three, we'll pick one. I'll get with Jesse, and we'll set up and do a night piece here, or another spot down. I did it down in Dalton not too long ago. That's another spot where we can set up. So it's really cool, and it's a different twist and whatnot. So if anybody's got any last questions, shoot them on now. Crash, you just let us know, or send me your card. I'll get you all the likes you want, or next time we decide we're going to do some night stuff, we'll let you know. And you, like I said, everybody, y'all are always welcome to join us wherever we are. The more the merrier. Like I said, this is about having fun, and if we can't have fun doing it, there is no reason to do it if it can't be fun. So Jesse, you got anything to add? It's so dark back there.
I know.
I don't see Jesse anywhere. At least thanks to Mrs. S, I got a light, but Jesse doesn't have his on.
Not tonight. Nope. Well, I'll come over here. I don't have anything else to say other than, like you said, thanks for coming on. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to Mike's channel here, Rail Moments, and also check out my channel, Whistleboard Productions. I've got a very special video that is in the works, near probably, I would say, about 80% complete. I'm finishing up my video of whenever I went and watched Big Boy out in Arkansas. That's going to be a really special video. I've put a lot of time and effort into it, and I'm hopeful that everyone will enjoy it. So keep a lookout for that on my channel. Once again, that's Whistleboard Productions. And that's all I have, Mike.
So with that in mind, Crash, everybody, Jesse and I will talk. We'll try and figure out an evening where we would just do some night shots, night filming, night live. We'll just call it Trackside at Night is basically what it will be. And we'll set up, we'll get the whole thing out. Tara, you can see the whole setup. Also, if you roll back to some of the videos recently down in Ringgold, you can see that light set up. It's really cool. And when you put it all together, and we always make sure we're very cautious. We don't blind the poor crew, and because mine will be set back, and they're not a direct beam, they're a wide angle piece. So that's it for me. That's it for Jesse. Keyword was, you make sure you tell Gavin I said hi, kid. Keyword is, see y'all Trackside, and somebody said it, subscribe. Whistleboard Production, Rail Moments. Have a good time, have a good night, and I will see y'all Trackside on Saturday, April 12th. Yeah, April 12th, 2025. Thanks everybody for being on tonight, and it really was a fun time. And Jesse, thanks for hanging out because
Absolutely.
we always have fun.
Always.
Even if it's 3 o'clock in the morning in Dalton, cold and foggy and raining and what have you, it was a good night. All right. See y'all trackside Saturday morning.
See you later.